make $840 a week. Okay, if you guys are taking $1,100 from me, how is anybody looking for support with me? Like, if I can't, I'm not going to be able to support my kids if I can't support myself. And Your Honor, I was making the same amount that I was making 4 years ago. So I don't understand how it's up more when I'm making less, because I was working. That's all overtime. Everything it was all overtime, and I'm working none.
And this calculation is based on your current employment, not your former employment. It's based on your current employment.
I was making more at my former employment. You see what I'm saying? I was making more.
Your Honor. Calculation, Mr. Pratt, can you explain?
At the request of the court, if I put mom in at minimum wage and $800 a month in child care, which is probably a low estimate, the support goes up to $1,504. Just so you're aware.
Who's the daycare for?
For the children.
They go to school.
Mom's got to work. Someone's got to watch the children.
They go to school and she has a husband.
Okay. Well, they need latchkey after school in the summertime.
There's two parents in the household.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're 11 and 7.
Yeah, it might be well worth it to invest in an attorney. Just have an attorney consult for this limited issue of child support. Have him run the figures. If he knows the Michigan child support guidelines, Mr. Grace.
Well, why would you
rely upon the
firm of the court? This is what you guys ran, and it's 1103. Why would it change if I get a lawyer? That's just more money that I have to spend, and the broker I get.
Because you can confirm with the lawyer that this is a very good recommendation. That's what you can confirm.
I already know. I already know. I either go with 1103 or I get screwed at the 1500. So I'm in a win-lose situation. It just makes zero sense to me how somebody can sit at home and do nothing, do absolutely nothing, dress my kids like slobs, make them. It's horrible, man.
Good women are dead. Evil bitches, rise up!
You say a one-time fling with the defendant turned into more than 15 years of child support payments and even jail time.
She know he's not my son.
Your Honor, he just wants off child support.
There was no home for me to go to. I lost it. I lost my car. I lost my job. I'm broke.
You truly believe you are not his biological fathers?
I know.
And why would she intentionally trap you?
At the time, I was doing pretty good. All of a sudden, here come the child support. I think maybe she thought I had a little money.
That's not right. Who is his father then?
You know, I don't.
Mr. Connor, you are not the father.
I already knew it.
Given your history, with women, right? What advice would you give to a successful man to avoid him from being trapped by a woman?
Wear a condom. Yeah, wear a condom. I'm always the type of cat, excuse me, that's always learning from the next person's mistakes. And I see what people go through, and I never want to go through that shit.
You be alright, nigga. You tough, right?
Is divorce harder on women or men?
The world is more sympathetic to women when they get divorced. A woman gets cheated on, the man's a piece of shit. A woman cheats on a man, she must have been forced into the arms of this other man, or she had to explore herself, or she was being neglected. He mustn't have been meeting her needs, and she had every right in the world. Men have a very hard time right now in divorce. They see their children less, they get hit harder financially, they are the bad guy no matter what. If they cheat, they're the bad guy. If they get cheated on, they were the bad guy because they probably neglected her. There's a presumption that the man is to blame a lot of the time. The law theoretically is gender blind right now, but I don't actually see that, because the law is people. The law is judges, and judges are human, and they have all the same biases. But in fairness, divorced men meet a young woman, and the woman's like, instant family, just add me. Women, they get divorced, they've got kids, and guys are like, whoop, it's got baggage, I'm not going near that. That men and women have different problems post-divorce, and the world could be better to both of them.
I'm ready for commitment, Harry. First time I set eyes on Mary Swanson, I just got that old-fashioned romantic feeling, where I'd do anything to bone her.
That's a special feeling, Lloyd.
Yeah.
When I decided that I was going to tell him that I wanted a divorce, we sit down in our session It's like really tense, really awkward. My ex was sitting there like, so why do we have an emergency session? Therapist was like, Jamie, do you want to start? And I just started crying and I was like, I want a divorce. He sat there quiet. I'm sitting next to him crying. He didn't move. He didn't look at me. He didn't react at all. He just was stone cold. And eventually our therapist was like, would you like to respond? So he responded right away and he's like, fine, let's just go ahead and finalize the details. Like, I knew that I was ready to leave that day, but I couldn't believe that that was his reaction. There was no empathy. There was no compassion. There was no like wanting to fight for us, and I was like, so what are we going to do? And he just kept playing and he was like, I already got an apartment. I already took my name off of the lease. So it was like within a couple days he moved out.
Some people think relationship is like a game, and this is why we keep seeing videos like this. So she decided to get a divorce, and once she told her husband, his reaction shocked her. She couldn't believe he didn't try to fight for her. She expected he would oppose it or at least show some sort of reaction as someone who still wanted to be in that marriage, but since he didn't care, she felt offended. What got to her the most was the fact that he got home and played his video game as if nothing had happened, and the next day he got everything ready to leave.
A lot of shit pissed me off. Like we got the family court constantly doing this to men, right? They constantly throw a outrageous number all the way up there to where nigga you're gonna end up broke regardless, right? As you can see, this woman has a whole nother husband, right? The judge and the Department of Child Support act like they don't even hear it. You know why? They act like they don't even pay attention to this woman having a whole nother husband in the household. Because if she's making 60K and she gets a husband and now he's making 50K, they're supposed to add that up. They're one. They're one now. That's 110K. He damn near should be getting paid by her. But the judge and the Department of Child Support are gonna act like they don't know nothing about nothing. They're gonna constantly keep on hitting you with the same old $1,000, like it's supposed to be $1,000 for you to be paying on your kid per month. No fucking way. If she has a husband, that needs to be brought up in court to say, hey, she makes more than me now. But you see how they just brush over the fucking situation? You see that? They do not give a fuck about doing anything justified. They're just trying to rate whoever's going to give the most money up. And they don't want the wife, they don't want the woman to fight, right? Because she'll end up fighting. Oh, I got to give them what? She'll do some Holly Berry shit and constantly fight in court and tell everybody how wrong the justice system is. But they don't want to put her in that position. They'll rather fuck you over. They'll rather drain your account. They'll rather make you broke. They'll rather take from you instead of making this woman bring in her documents and say what her husband does and show all this and show all that. Because clearly, if she's married again, she's most likely making more money than that single dude over there. And this is not going to be brought up in court. This is the shit that you have to constantly put out there. So they put some kind of motion in order so this shit can get lowered or this needs to be put in consideration. They're not considering anything, not your fucking bank account, not your living situation, not how they're not considering shit. Not how much you've done, not what you it don't matter. The past don't matter in these situations, right? Don't end up fucked off in the long run. Having a kid, thinking that she was going to be a long-term partner, thinking that she was going to be a wife, thinking that you guys can work something out in between. Fuck the court. We don't have to go through the courts. I recommend you not go through the courts. I recommend you try to work it out within your family, right? But I doubt that will work. You know why? Because it's going to be, why am I taking this from you when I can get this from them? Why am I taking this $700 you're going to give me when I can get $1,000, 1,500 from the court? And this will constantly cause y'all to fight, bicker, argue, and never get family together again. Is it me, or does it seem like they're not trying to have families together? Is it me, or does it seem like they're trying to financially rape the man so he doesn't have anything to call to start generational wealth? They don't want y'all wealthy. They don't want y'all to have shit. So we're gonna give the woman all the money. You know what women do? They go buy purses. They don't start no, rarely. Now there is some beautiful, strong women that start businesses that got the right mindset to do so. And I could name a few. Pepperidge Farm, right? Betsy Johnson. She over here the fucking pilot for the goddamn first US pilot. All right, anyway. What's wrong with the courts not seeing it the father's way ever? What's wrong with the courts constantly draining the father for their resources? What's wrong with them? They get tax, they get their money back. They get tax write-offs. They get all this type of stuff. This agency, the child support agency, gets money back from Social Security to take your money. For every dollar, they get a dollar uh, back from federal government funds. The state of child support, the state run organization of child support, gets matching federal funds for every dollar that they take from the man or the woman. Because my mother was on child support. My my grandmother was on child support, and I'm on child support. And I constantly see them draining generational wealth by putting people on child support. It never actually helps. It always hinders. But it is what it is, man. Silence acceptance, and we ain't having it. Like, comment, subscribe.